Hey, what's up YouTube? My name is Jesse. I go by the Veteran Flipper on YouTube, and today's Monday, July 21st. And as always on a Monday, we're going to be obviously shipping out some orders. I had some really awesome sales and some not so profitable sales, which kind of leads me to talk about a few points. I want to talk about eBay fees, and I want to make a statement that's probably going to piss off a lot of people watching. All right, so both of the bags should be in this bin right here. Got two bins. I sold a fossil bag. I had to double check, but yeah, it was this fossil bag right here. I paid $10 for this, I believe, at a thrift store. And that sold for $24 and some change plus shipping. Happy with that. And then I sold a Coach bag, another crossbody bag. Small Coach bag right here. I think I paid $10 for this one too, and someone sent me an offer on it last night for $41 plus shipping. Nice Coach crossbody bag. Definitely keep an eye out for Coach. Alright, now that I got those pulled, I can, that's where I just keep all my wallets in that bag right there. But now that I got those pulled, I'm going to go ahead and put the listing booth right there because I shouldn't be pulling anything else in this area. Check this out. So if you saw the last video, I was at a furniture store and I wasn't even trying to find anything to flip for a profit, and I found that Yadro piece for $100 I paid. Someone just offered me $280, and you can bet your bottom dollar I'm gonna go ahead and take that right now. And this item's already been pre-packaged. Actually, that top box right there, that Hawaiian punch box right here. And this thing is packed solid, double boxed. The temperature's finally dropped, so I don't even need to run the AC today. But yeah, those are first two orders pulled there. We got that right there that's already pre-packaged. I'm actually just gonna set this down here out of my way. Sad to see this duck lamp go. This thing is just super cool in my opinion. Got a few nicks on it, but otherwise it's just very unique, and I love how it's got the shells right there on the sides. Picked this up at the Columbus Flea Market in New Jersey for $15. To be honest, that was kind of paying up for this mainly because I didn't know what this thing was going to sell for, because it's not like there's like any similar comps or anything that you can comp it based on. But I went ahead and took a chance on it and sold it for $34.95 plus shipping. And honestly, the amount of work that I put into this, I think it was worth it. Probably only going to be making about $10, $11 profit. Which leads me to a huge point that I want to make in this video. The amount of work that I'm putting into that to make that money, to me, is absolutely worth it. So I'm going to pull the two sales that I got downstairs in the eBay dungeon. And I believe the one is down here. Let me see. I believe it's in here. Yeah, it's in there. So, let's see. Stop recording so I can pull these. There's actually these diners right here. This lot of 7 right here. Only sold for $60 plus shipping. Factor in that my cost of goods on those was about $35. But I bought a bunch of awesome stuff at that sale. The amount of profit that I would be making at those 7 right there comes to $14. Absolutely not really worth it, but I thought that this lot right here would sell for at least $100 to $120 plus shipping. Sometimes you don't get what you want. I'd rather just get a little bit of profit and move on with my life. But I bought some really awesome stuff at that sale. One thing in particular, I've actually never publicly talked about this because it was around a time I took a little break from making YouTube content. And I bought a Cadillac sign. Big Cadillac sign, if you remember that video, and I only paid 20 bucks for this. And I've never actually said before that I sold that Cadillac sign because of the way that I sold it. Let me explain what happened. A buyer reached out to me, an interested buyer reached out to me that was interested in that Cadillac sign. They were a collector of that specific model of Cadillac, and they told me that they were interested. And they sent me a message in a very creative way where they gave me their contact information. So I called the person, and you know what they were trying to do. They were trying to get away with paying the eBay fees and all that, so they figured the deal would be more lucrative. I absolutely do not recommend trying to contact someone that way. I don't think it's worth your account risking it, but the risk was on them, right? Because I'm not the one that tried to put out my contact information that way. But I reached out to them. We were able to make a deal, and I sold that Cadillac sign for $700 plus shipping, and it was all paid for via PayPal. And to be honest, to make $700, it's not worth your account. Like, you got to look long term. You're hoping to make like tens and tens of thousands of dollars, right? So that should be long-term plan. This bike rack right here, definitely took a risk on this at the Goodwill, and that was in Pennsylvania, my own Pennsylvania route. And I would have not have picked this up. I think that was about what they were asking. With my veterans discount, it ended up coming to $58 is what I paid for this. And this finally sold for a nickel short of $100 plus shipping. To be honest, after the fees on that, it really wasn't that worth it. Not for the sakes, I didn't even pull it out of the box or any of that. I just verified that it was in new condition, but it didn't require none of that. So listing it was literally only a couple minutes, and then the time to package it'd probably take 5 minutes. So I think after fees, I'm making $24. I just checked, but it was $24 after fees and everything, assuming that I get it shipped out for the cost that the buyer paid for the shipping. So to be honest with the amount of time that I'm putting into that item, it is worth it. The real concern with selling something this big is just it takes up a lot of space. That's my biggest concern with selling something like this. It's not the time that I put into it. It's not the effort I put into it. The amount of time and effort I'm going to put into this, it is more than profitable enough for me to sell this item. More than profitable enough. It makes sense. The biggest concern is how much space it takes up. That's why with stuff like that, I like to try to be as aggressive as possible with trying to get it moved out. If I get it listed for 130, 140, maybe I'll send out an offer for 110 or $100. If people aren't taking any bites at my offer, then sometimes I like to just send out a little bit more of an aggressive offer, especially with stuff like that that's bigger that I want to get it shipped out. Now, people that are like, oh, I would never sell that for that. And to be honest, yeah, I thought I was going to sell that for 120, 130 bucks, and it just wasn't selling. But is it still worth it? Absolutely. The way eBay fees sit right now, would I pick that up again? Absolutely, I would. Which leads me to my next point that I want to talk about with eBay fees. You really got to ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing, and like what exactly are you trying to accomplish by selling on eBay or by being a reseller or selling on Poshmark or selling on Etsy or whatever you sell on. And for me, the reason why I sell on eBay is it allows me to do what I want to do. Like the eBay machine allows me to do what I want to do. I'm able to wake up when I want to wake up. I'm able to take days off when I want to take days off. I'm able to take my kid to school every day. I'm able to do X, Y, and Z with my family, and I just love it. And I think if anything, I think some people have gotten so custom and maybe so spoiled by certain things with being self-employed or with being a reseller and with selling on eBay. And for me, coming out of the military, I was a 11 Charlie Mortarman in the United States Army for 11 years. And for me, I told myself when I got out of the Army that I never wanted to work for anybody again. And the way that I planned on doing that was by selling on eBay and by starting a company. So I've actually never publicly talked about this. It's kind of funny. But I was actually planning on starting a junk removal business. All right. And I was like all into it. I was going to start a junk removal business. And if you know me, you'd probably know why I decided not to. And that's mainly because of my back. I don't think that the way my back is right now, and I was very, very strong. So that's why I thought I'd be good at this business. And I'm very like fast paced. So I'm like, I could probably haul out a whole house worth of trash in a heartbeat. And I have a very good, a very strong work ethic. But the problem for me is it was not worth me breaking my back down even more. Because I'm telling you right now, being a mortarman, it is very physically demanding. and it is very back-breaking, very knee-breaking. I got neck problems, all types of problems, and these were problems that just progressively got worse the more I rocked, the more I carried mortars, the more I carried this. We carry a lot of gear as mortarmen, and I don't want to get off subject right now. I wanted to talk about the eBay fees, and I could be perfectly honest that as eBay fees sit right now, they are way too low for me to ever stop reselling. Way too low. And I know that's probably going to piss off some people, but I'm going to say one more thing that's probably going to, if that pissed you off, then good, it was meant to. All right. I'm going to say one more thing that's probably going to piss you off even more. If that didn't do it, I'm going to say one more thing that's really going to set you over the top, and I'd probably lose some subscribers. But because of how bad I want this job as a reseller, coming out of the Army, you didn't have to come out of the Army. There's someone out there that probably used to work on an oil rig. There's someone that used to be a doctor that watches this channel. There's someone that used to be a school teacher that watches this channel, and they just don't want to do that job anymore. And whatever that job is that you don't want to do, and for me, it was being a mortarman. Being a mortarman is one of, if not one of the most proudest moments of my life. And it's something I'll always be proud of. It was one of the funnest, one of the coolest jobs I've ever had. This is my first real job, right? But it just wasn't for me, and it's just not something I wanted to do anymore. And I can tell you right now, what I really want to do right now is I want to be self-employed. I want to do something I enjoy doing. And reselling was not the only pick. I thought about a lot of different options. Being self-employed, that I thought about doing, getting out of the military. But selling on eBay was the one that I already was doing while I was active duty. And I really just loved it. I enjoyed it. And it allowed me so many freedoms and opportunities that I did not have when I was in the military. And the next point the next statement I want to say that's probably going to piss a lot of people off. And I was thinking about this last night and this morning, and I was like, is there a specific number as far as eBay fees go where I would just absolutely quit reselling? And I don't have a number off the top of my head, but I will make this statement. If eBay fees were double what they are now, I would still want to sell on eBay. And I know it probably pissed some of you guys off, but what I pick up, there's certain things, what I probably stop picking up, absolutely. But there's certain things I would absolutely continue to take a risk on, like this chest set. This sold on auction for $432 plus shipping. I paid $30 for this. And if it wasn't for eBay, I do not think this would have sold for anywhere close to that. So why am I talking about eBay fees? I'm talking about eBay fees because I hear so many people complain about how high eBay fees are, and I remember when eBay fees were this, and I remember when these fees were this. And the fact of the matter is how bad do you want this job? I don't like selling clothing. I don't even really care to sell jackets. But there are certain things that I will pick up that I think I can make money on because I want this job. I want to be a reseller. And I'm not trying to be super blunt here, but I am. But, you got to think about, what do you really want? And what I want, I don't want to sell clothing. I don't want to sell jackets. But one thing I want more than anything in this business is I want this job. I want to be a reseller. It's something I just love doing. I don't necessarily love selling certain things, but I need to pick up certain things to pay my bills. And there are certain things that I pick up that other resellers will not deal with, even though they're profitable. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with shipping it. They don't want to deal with listing it. They don't want to deal with testing it. Whatever it is. And that's where guys like me, I will never fail in this business because I want this job. And honestly, this subject really just fires me up. I want this job as a reseller. I want to be self-employed. I want to be able to take days off when I want to be able to take days off. I don't want to ask for permission to go on vacation. I don't want to ask permission to leave the state. I don't want to ask permission to leave the country. I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And it depends on how bad you want it. If you want this job, if you want to be self-employed, comment below, I want this job. But yeah, this North Face jacket right here, I got about $10 into this, picked up a bunch of North Face jackets. This one right here sold for $41 plus shipping. Great profit. Like I said, I don't really care. I wish I could just pick up collectibles. Like there's certain things that I love selling, but just because I love selling it doesn't mean that those are necessarily going to pay all my bills. So for me, it just depends on how bad you want this job. So I actually only have one more sale. It's actually these 14 Lennox wine glasses right here. These are 7 3/4 inch. I would say when it comes to selling Lennox glasses, I wouldn't sell them individually. Definitely not. I've said that before. I think it's better if you can sell them in a dozen or maybe by like 6 at a time. But I think anything over 12 Lennox glasses, I don't necessarily think you might not get, $10 each, right? There's about 12 Lennox glasses. You could get potentially $120. I've sold them like that before. This set of 14 Lennox glasses only sold for $111 plus shipping, which I am not complaining about. I got these out of a storage unit that I made probably close to $7,000 on. And these glasses just somehow they ended up in a box. And I still have another set of Lennox glasses that I still have listed right now. But that storage unit made me so much money. It's ridiculous, and it definitely makes me excited about the future to get back into buying storage units. But $111, really happy about it. All right, and packaging up wine glasses like this is actually very simple. There's a trick that I've used for years and years, and I went a long period without actually using this trick. And one of you guys, viewer, Jennifer, if you're watching, thank you for the tip, reminded me about using actually an empty liquor box. And I got another empty one right here that I could use right there. And the nice part about using those is they already have the dividers in it. So it makes it just a lot seamlessly to keep the glasses from breaking each other. But I read every single comment. I appreciate all the advice that you guys leave out there, you guys and gals. I absolutely appreciate it. But that's how we package this. There's actually a Bacardi box, or maybe not specifically Bacardi. If you're not old enough to drink, too, by the way, don't drink. But an empty box, you can get that from a liquor store. But there's actually a liquor box in here that held 12 glasses, and for the other 2 glasses, those were just packaged above the box. So worked out really nice. I might have a little bit of footage. I've made videos in the past on how to package up multiple glasses, and you can do the same concept with coffee mugs or whatever you're selling a big lot of. But super simple way of doing it, and like I said, I made footage in the past on how to do it, so check those out. But those are the sales that I got going out today. All right, so I got to start packaging some orders up. That's going to do it for this video. I'm trying to get back on a normal routine of posting 2 videos per week every Wednesday and Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I like to do sourcing videos, and I know people love seeing sourcing videos, but right now I'm not sourcing as much because I already have a bunch of unlisted inventory I got to get to. But don't get me wrong, if I see a huge community yard sale, I will absolutely be there. I just want to say that I appreciate all the comments, all the support that I've gotten from the loyal followers that have been following me for a while. I absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, I'm just super excited to just see where this channel is going to go, to see what's going to happen with reselling in this area. And I'm just excited about all the different opportunities that are going to arise from sourcing in this area. I don't expect it to be as good as New Jersey, but I do expect different opportunities that I am super excited about. And I think we're gonna make it work here. I think we're absolutely gonna be able to make it work here. And I'm just super excited about to see what we're gonna find out there. I mean, just going to the furniture store the other day, found that Yaldro piece, and hopefully the buyer pays for it. That's $100 and $280 without even trying to find anything. So pretty sure once we get back into trying, there's going to be great inventory around here too. You just got to get out there and just try to find it. For me, I absolutely just want this job to work, so I will find the inventory. It doesn't matter what I have to do. If I have to drive further, I'll drive further. If I have to source differently, I'll source differently. But I want this job, so I will absolutely make it work. So that's going to do it for the video, though. If you got anything from the video, please consider smashing the like button. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one. The Veteran Flipper out. Peace.